Good morning. I am Reverend Carrie McAvoy, and I am honored to serve as assistant minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Raleigh. It's good to be with you this morning, whether you are here or in person or watching at home. It's so good to be together. It may shock some of you today that I am here in clergy attire. Today, I will be talking about my late husband, who was on his path to become a minister when he passed away. So by wearing this robe and this stole, which I got made out of William's work shirts, I hold him close to my heart. As we gather together this morning, let me share with you words from Allison Wohler. With thankful hearts, we have come together this morning to celebrate the bounty of the day, to bask in the warmth of this community, to share with friends the tides of our lives, to entertain perennially our hopes for a better future. We join together this morning, as always, to resist injustice and inequality wherever they may be found. Our hearts are touched by the human need we feel around us, whether far away or within reach of our hand. We come here to be together because this is how we believe our lives are best lived, in questioning and in conversation, in compassion and in service, in gratitude and in joy, in companionship and in love. It is good to be together today. Come, my friends, with our hearts open to both the challenges and the possibilities that this new day and this new week bring. With our hearts open to all that inspires, redeems, transforms, and sustains us. Come, let us worship together.
Good morning. This song that I'm going to share with you comes from our new online hymnal that is meant to be a supplement to the gray and teal hymnals. The UUA has been working on this in cooperation with the Musicians Association for quite some time, and I'm really looking forward to sharing more of these songs with you. So I'll sing it as a piece of special music, and then you'll get a chance to sing it as our opening hymn. Voices bend as one.
The flaming chalice is the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist tradition, the liberal religious tradition to which this congregation belongs. Will those of you in person please stand as you are able for our chalice lighting? And if you have a chalice at home, I invite you to light yours with ours now. As we kindle this flame, we recommit ourselves to nurturing the spirits of one another and the common good of the world we share. May the light of this flame be welcoming to all who seek a liberal religious home. And for those of you already standing, I invite you to remain standing for our opening hymn, and our music director, Jean Marie, will lead us in singing the song she just taught us. Thank you. My name is Sarah Ford-Knorr, and I'm glad to serve as part of your worship team this morning. Whether you are a first-time visitor or a long-time member, I would like to offer you a special welcome. Here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Raleigh, we strive to be intentionally inclusive, liberally religious, and actively serving the common good of our shared world. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your own religious journey, you are welcome here. This morning, William Smith, one of our lay ministers, will be available in the front right corner of the sanctuary after the service to talk to anyone who might be experiencing a difficult time and would just like to talk to someone. I hope that all of you will read through the chalice you received by email on Friday about everything happening here at UUFR. You can also check out the upcoming events section of our website, but I do have two special announcements this morning. First, next weekend, our B4 Breaking Barriers workshop, which will begin at 9:30, will open in Founders Hall downstairs. So please come there for the B4 workshop. As a result, our regular 9 a.m. Saturday men's breakfast will be in the Clara Barton room. That's 201 of Peace Hall. So men's breakfast meeting in the Clara Barton room and the B4 workshop in Founders Hall. And then next, can this announcement be right? Based on a preliminary count, last night's auction raised a record-breaking $38,000. Yeah, that is record-breaking, and not just by a little. So many thanks to David Patorti, Maggie Inman, Sarah Grover, Paige Clark, along with all the volunteers, contributors, and most importantly, our generous bidders. And plus, a special thanks to our auctioneer extraordinaire, David Ostergaard. That was so fun. Our in-person social hour this morning will be downstairs in Founders Hall, and I now invite you to meet and greet your neighbor. Good morning.
I invite you to come back together. Let's come back together and continue with our service. Lots of conversations for... I know. Let's come back together, everyone. This is the time in our service when we acknowledge some of the joys and sorrows of our community. We do this because we believe a joy shared is a joy made even greater, and a sorrow shared is made easier to bear. Jim and Susan heard us share the news that Susan was recently diagnosed with breast cancer. The tumor has been successfully removed, and they await information about further treatment. They are grateful for the help of the skilled doctors at Duke Breast Cancer Center and are especially thankful for their daughter Melanie's knowledge, care, and presence with them every step of the way. Jim and Susan, we hold you in our hearts during this difficult time. Charlie Ward wants us to know that he and Joel Keel won the solo duo section of the Triangle Blues Society's Blues, this is music, challenge, and they will represent the Triangle in the International Blues Challenge in Memphis this 2026. Congratulations, Charlie and Joel. Harold Rentz shares his gratitude that the TAVR procedure to repair his aortic valve was successful and that his recovery is well underway. He appreciates the support of the UUFR Care Corps team and his UUFR friends as well as his family. Harold, we hope that your recovery continues. Jill Denning shares her joy that our UUFR Care team reached out and supported her and her family during this federal government shutdown. They found it comforting to be remembered during this very uncertain time, and Mike and Jill thank us all. Jill, please know that we are here for you and share our wishes that your life become more certain very soon. Nolan Klein and Kiana Daniel share their joyful news that they got engaged at the end of October. Congratulations, Nolan and Kiana. As we hold these shared joys and sorrows in our hearts, and as we reflect on the joys and sorrows, fears and hopes of our own lives, let's be together in stillness and in silence, opening ourselves up to that spirit within us and amidst us, known by many names and known to every human heart, that leads us to a fuller and deeper and richer experience of life. After the silence, we'll sing together hymn 391, Voice Still and Small. But for now, let's just be together in stillness and in silence.
Voice still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing. In storm and rain, sorrow and pain, still will remain singing. Calming my fears, quenching my tears, through all the years, singing.
Good morning. My name is Kathy Field, and I am a member of your board of directors. I'll be downstairs at social hour after the service. Oh, thank you. I'll be downstairs after the service at social hour. How's that? In case you'd like to chat about anything or have any questions about the board or just want to say hi. Everything we do at UUFR is only possible because of the generous financial support so many of us provide. For those of you who have set up automated giving to UFR or who send in a check by mail every month, I'd like to thank you now for your generosity. Here at UUFR, we designate one Sunday each month as Justice Sunday, and all the money collected during our offering is given to a local or national nonprofit organization. Today is our Justice Sunday, and our Justice Council has designated the Interfaith Food Shuttle as the recipient of today's offering. Susan Mador, the Director of Volunteer Services at Interfaith Food Shuttle, is here to tell us more about her organization.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to be with you today. Since 1989, Interfaith Food Shuttle has recovered food that would have been wasted and distributed it to our low-income neighbors. Over time, we have designated programs that address the root causes of hunger and developed a 16-acre farm and community gardens to provide nutritious produce and teach sustainability. We have served the 7 counties of Central North Carolina for over 35 years and are a member of the Feeding America network of 200 food banks across the nation. The Food Shuttle envisions a hunger-free community. We feed our neighbors, teach self-sufficiency, and grow healthy foods by cultivating innovative approaches to end hunger. We feed. Every day, our trucks pick up food from retailers and distribute it to our community partners, hosting food pantries and mobile markets. We distributed over 14 million pounds of food last year. Our Backpack Buddies, school choice pantries, and senior feeding programs help our most vulnerable neighbors in times of need. By partnering with the retailers for food recovery, we not only address the immediate needs, but also create a sustainable food system for our future. We teach. Community health education and agriculture education classes equip our neighbors with new knowledge and skills like gardening, nutrition, and cooking. The Culinary Apprenticeship Program provides unemployed and underemployed individuals with hands-on education, work experience, and support pursuing a career in the thriving culinary industry. By empowering our neighbors to meet their own food needs and providing opportunities to learn, we equip neighbors with the tools to secure better paying jobs, improve nutrition, and increase overall health and wellness. This dedication to long-lasting solutions fosters immediate support and increased long-term food security. We grow. Our farm and 3 community learning gardens supply fresh produce and promote sustainability, gardening techniques, bee pollination, and more. We aim to enhance the efficiency of our farming operations, broaden access to agricultural knowledge, and create long-term solutions that minimize waste and strengthen local food systems. By prioritizing innovative practices, collaboration, and education, we foster a sustainable, equitable, and food-secure future for our communities. By empowering neighbors to grow their own food, we develop resilience and strengthen local food systems. At Interfaith Food Shuttle, we are committed to addressing the root causes of food insecurity in our community by cultivating innovative approaches to end hunger. And we are so grateful for your partnership. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. What a wonderful program. If you would like to make a contribution in person this morning, we invite you to bring it forward and put it in one of our 3 offering plates. If you would prefer that an usher come to you, please raise your hand. And you may also give using one of the methods on the screen. Our offering will now be given and gratefully received.
Is a poem by Jan Richardson entitled "What Fire Comes to Sing in You." This blessing had big ideas about what it wanted to say, what it wanted you to know, to see. This blessing wanted to open your eyes to the joy that lives in such strange company with sorrow. It wanted to make sure to tell you, lest you forget, that no matter how long it seems absent, no matter how quiet it becomes, joy has never been far from you, holding a space of celebration, watching for you, humming as it keeps vigil. But now that it comes time to speak it, comes time to lay these words on your brow, on your beating heart, all this blessing can think to say is, look, your life a candle, this day a match. Strike it and see what blazes, what fire comes to sing in you.
This morning, you get to be the choir for this beautiful little song, and I hope that you will learn it, put it in your pocket, and sing it to yourself whenever you're having a little bit of trouble with change. At least that's how I use this song. I'll sing it first, just have a listen, and then we'll echo some little parts. I'll teach it to you, and then we'll sing it as a round. Seasons change and so will you. I am always changing too. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slow. Everything will change so new things can grow. I'll sing a phrase, you sing it back to me. Seasons change and so will you. Seasons change and so will you. I am always changing too. Always changing too. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slow. Sometimes quick, everything will change so new things can grow. Everything will change so new things can grow. Good, let's sing it twice. The first time I'll sing with you, and then the second time I'm just going to listen to see if you've got it. Here we go. Seasons change and so will you. I am always changing too. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slow. Everything will change so new things can grow. Seasons change. Wonderful. I think we're ready to do it in a round. So this half will go first. I'll give you a nice cue. And over here, you will come in second. Again, I'll give you a nice cue. So let's, yes, hello, I see you in the back. There's a little one just loving it. We love to see that. Yes. So we're going to sing it in unison, and then let's sing it twice through in imitation. Okay. Seasons change and so will you. I am always changing too. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slow. change so new things can grow. Here we go. Seasons change and so will you. Seasons change and so will you. Quickly, sometimes slow, sometimes quickly, sometimes slow. Seasons change and so will you. Seasons change and so will you. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slow. Everything will change so new things can grow. Everything will change so new things can grow. Beautifully done. Thank you so much.
Tatiana. Happy Christmas season. Well, at least according to the ads that keep popping up on my TV since the day after Halloween. What's with that? So, happy. It's time to start the mad dash to create the perfect holidays, which of course involves spending lots of money season. Honestly, one of the things that makes holidays difficult for me is spending all this energy trying to create an experience that measures up to the dream holidays that advertisers are trying to sell me. Am I the only one in this? And due to where I am in my own life, it's impossible to create. Perhaps it's always impossible to create. Let's take U.S. Thanksgiving, for instance. For millennia, cultures have gathered together to celebrate the last harvest before winter sets in. It's a time to revel in the abundance that the earth made, sometimes with help of humans and other critters. It's time to be hopeful that folks just might survive the winter. It's time to be grateful for whatever forces created the harvest that makes life so magically possible. As an adult, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday because the concept is pretty simple. It's about good food. It's about being together with loved ones. It's being grateful for what I have and sharing with others what I have. No presents, minimal decorations, simple. Simple like the famous Norman Rockwell Thanksgiving painting that you have on the front of your orders of service. You know, the one where Grandma smiles lovingly as she brings the big, huge roasted turkey to the table that's already perfectly laid with other foodstuffs and fancy dishes. Grandpa is standing behind her, beaming with pride, poised to fulfill his patriarchal duty of carving the beast once it's been placed on the table. Gathered around the table are two more generations, children, mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, and they're all having a fantastic time, loving each other, full of good cheer. That Thanksgiving painting, showing 3 generations of white people gathered together in perfect harmony. A simple painting of a loving family preparing to feast together. A simple painting that has become the ideal for many a Thanksgiving celebration. Put in historical context, however, the story this painting tells is a little more complex. It was January of 1941, and as part of President Franklin Roosevelt's State of the Union address, he presented 4 democratic values that were essential to preserve: freedom of speech, freedom of worship, freedom from fear, and freedom from want. FDR understood that these 4 freedoms and many more were direly at risk as German, Nazi, and other Axis forces conquered and threatened more and more of Europe and Asia. In FDR's speech, he advocated for increased involvement of the U.S. in conflicts abroad. Turns out that Norman Rockwell, despite his many paintings depicting idyllic scenes of white America, was actually staunchly progressive and politically liberal. Rockwell was inspired by the Four Freedoms and pitched a series of 4 paintings, each addressing one of the freedoms mentioned by FDR in his speech. The title of this famous Thanksgiving painting is actually Freedom from Want. The U.S., of course, joined World War II after the attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941. The painting was finished in November 1942 and published in the Saturday Evening Post in March of 1943. And this painting and the other 3 in the series were meant to remind Americans of what they were fighting for. By the time the painting was published, the American public had been on food rations for many months. People in Europe were facing even more hunger and privation. At the time, the Thanksgiving dinner in the painting would have seemed abundant, but Rockwell took pains to make it look relatively modest. The models used for the painting were some of Rockwell's family members and also his neighbors. If you look closely at the painting, the people gathered, while all white, yes, they do seem a little more communal than familial. On the surface, the painting looks like just another advertisement for Butterball. But it was actually created for anti-Nazi purposes. It was an Antifa painting. It was created to remind people of what was at stake. And in its place with the other 3 paintings in the series, it serves today. While we're bearing witness to SNAP benefits being denied, immigrants being grabbed from their beds, and non-Christian reading materials being removed from VA libraries. This famous painting still serves today as a still vivid reminder of what is at stake. There are no perfect holidays. Sorry to break the bubble for you. And the truth is, holidays are always changing. They change culturally over time, and they change as families change. My family life was pretty stable. My parents lived in the same house they were in before I was born until just a few years ago. We had no extended relatives nearby, so our holidays were mostly spent within our nuclear family. Any difficulties we faced were fortunately manageable. And even with that stability, our holidays changed over time. When myself and my 4 siblings were children, Thanksgiving was the boring holiday. Christmas was, of course, the exciting holiday with presents and sweet things to eat. One of our favorite Christmas traditions was making pfeffernusse every year. And part of pfeffernusse making was a lot of different spices. So we borrowed a mortar and pestle from our neighbor who cooked everything. And so we put a bunch of whole spices in there, and we ground and ground and ground and passed it from one kid to the other until it was finally small enough to put in the batter. And that smell of the freshly crushed spices was Christmas, 100%. We got our Christmas tree a couple of weeks before Christmas, and it filled the house up with its piney scent. We'd make paper chains and popcorn chains and use those as garlands. We'd put ornaments we made in school on the tree and the fancy ornaments my parents had collected over the years. And we had a painted star that my dad would put on the top of the tree. We didn't put lights on our tree. Instead, my dad set up spotlights outside in the yard that were pointed right at the tree in the living room so that passersby could see it. My family wasn't rich, but my parents managed to make Christmas abundant enough for us. I remember many sleepless Christmas mornings, impatiently waiting until the clock struck 7 a.m. so we could rush down and see what Santa brought us. Those were the longest 5 hours of my life. When we opened gifts from family members, Dad always played the Kingston Trio Christmas album and a Music Box Christmas. So that was the soundtrack for my Christmases. And Mom lit those candles. You know those candles that always smell like Christmas? As I grew into middle school, Christmas was still the cool holiday, and presents and treats were important. I was raised Catholic, and I also have memories of singing in the choir at Christmas Mass. While I usually found Mass pretty boring, the Christmas Masses felt magical. The ritual, the music, the incense, the fact that the church was packed to the rafters with people, the late and the dark hour, the miraculous story of Jesus' birth, the candlelight, the sugar high, whatever it felt like a time out of time. At the end of the Mass, Mr. Clabby would pull out all the stops on the pipe organ, open it up, and the music of joy to the world would vibrate through my whole body and the whole building. As I and my siblings got older, of course, one by one, we left for college. Sometimes we'd return for a holiday, sometimes with a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and then spouses. And sometimes we'd spend holidays with our partner's family. Holidays were more adult, less about gifts, and more about catching up on each other's lives. Christmas Masses became boring again, but there was a still pfeffernuss and the smell of the Christmas tree and Mom's candles. And there was still the music of the Kingston Trio and the music boxes. Once I got to college, I grew into an insufferable, idealistic, anti-religious vegetarian. At Thanksgiving, I didn't eat the turkey, but I made an exception for the turkey gravy. I started questioning the story of Jesus and railed against the overly commercialized version of Christmas. My sister still holds grudges for when I wouldn't buy a Christmas tree for our shared apartment and when I refused to go to midnight mass with my mother. Once I moved in with a long-term boyfriend, more often than not, I would skip family holidays altogether. My boyfriend and I would have a feast with friends and then go skiing. We'd exchange gifts at Christmas, but there was no Christmas tree. Luckily for my profession, I eventually matured out of my insufferable idealistic phase and split up with a boyfriend, and I bought some decorations, got a Christmas tree, and I put lights on it. I was such a rebel. I now made an effort to spend either Thanksgiving or Christmas with my family. My older sister Julia now had 2 children and lived in the same town as my parents, so holidays were at her house. The focus was understandably primarily on the young children. I had moved to the East Coast and I got married, and we always had a Christmas tree. William and I made a point to split holidays between our families, alternating between Thanksgiving and Christmas. For the first time, I could count on snow for Christmas, and the New England churches would ring their bells at midnight, heralding the arrival of Christmas Day. And we would go to the late Christmas service at our local UU church. The year before William passed away, Julia was diagnosed with lung cancer. On Christmas Eve, Julia was admitted to the hospital and passed away within a month. My husband, William, passed away 2 months later. It was a very difficult time for many reasons, but particularly at the holidays. Julia was the social glue of my family of origin, and she was also the holiday organizer. William was also the social connector in his family, and he brought an infectious energy to any gathering. Both families struggled to adjust to the absence of a critical member. When a family member dies, not only is there the pain of grief, but it also changes the way family members relate with each other. At holidays, in particular, both families struggled to create a normal holiday. It was an impossible task, but not a pointless one. We all knew that it was important to be together, to learn how to be a family in a new way. We fumbled in our attempt to create a meaningful holiday despite our losses and our pain. It was like we were all in a play and we didn't have a script. We were performing some kind of tragic improv. We remembered previous holidays. We remembered our loved ones. We mourned how things couldn't and wouldn't ever be the same. We held each other. My nephew made pfeffernusse. I went to Catholic church with my mom, or to the UU church with my mother-in-law. Together, our families made it a point to be together, to include the traditions that made sense, and leave behind those traditions that were no longer meaningful. And we created new traditions. I think one of the traps of society's vision of a perfect holiday is that it relies on a perfect family. That family of multiple generations living in harmony together. Even my relatively stable family was never like that. For those of us who live away from family, or don't have a family, or have lost family, or have unsafe families, the attempt to create a perfect holiday can remind us of how we are not part of the perfect family. And that can be a painful realization. One of the nuances of Norman Rockwell's Thanksgiving painting is that while it looks on the surface like it's a nuclear family, it's family and neighbors. It's a communal celebration, as harvest celebrations were meant to be. The purpose of the painting isn't to create an unachievable ideal holiday. It highlighted the importance of being together, creating community, sharing what we have with one another, even when many of the young men we knew were at war and some would never make it home. Even when we had to pool sugar rations to make a pie, and instead of turkey, we had Spam. If you're looking for community this Thanksgiving, it looks like we'll be having a Thanksgiving potluck here at UUFR. Watch for notices in the chalice. If you're struggling with grief, I will be holding space to share and to reflect together on Thursday, November 20th at 5:30 p.m. If you know someone who's going through a hard time, reach out to them. Be part of their community this season. We don't celebrate the holidays because we're already happy. We celebrate because it helps us get through the difficult times. We create a time out of time where we eat the special food, sing the special songs, light the special candles, to be grateful for what we have, to share what we have, to remember the past, and to dream of what the future could be. Holidays build resilience. Holidays are resistance. May it be so. Amen. I invite you to stand as you are able for our closing hymn, which is hymn 354, We Laugh, We Cry.
Search for
Please be seated. As we end this time of worship together, I would like to share words written by Howard Thurman. I will light candles this holiday season, candles of joy despite all sadness, candles of hope where despair keeps watch, candles of courage for fears ever present, candles of peace for tempest-tossed days, candles of grace to ease heavy burdens, candles of love to inspire all my living, candles that will burn all the year long. May it be so. Amen.